Oh baby, time for the 2-on-1 arena brawl between Mysterio and Shaq and Kevin Nash. Now it seems intimidating at first, but it's more so just kind of annoying. It's relatively straightforward. You just have to take advantage of the fact that you have an added movement bonus and divide these two and conquer them as best you can. Luckily, backstage there are plenty of platforms, that you can utilize to separate the two of them. That plus the fact that the AI is just really stupid in 2K, so they won't gang up on you as much as you would think, especially if you keep jumping from platform to platform. Now we're going to try to throw them off of platforms and then splash them to maximize damage and fill up their stun meter ASAP. But we can't do that because they have these stupid purple barriers over their health meter. You need to chop away at them with light strikes to get that purple barrier to diminish. Only then will you be able to grab them and Irish whip them over a ledge. So keep spamming those light strikes. Anytime you see Shaq getting closer to you, just run up to the next platform or down to the next one. You want to ideally target Kevin Nash first because Shaq is more difficult to deal with. He has really annoying resiliency triggers that kind of make him a nightmare, more or less. But if it's a one-on-one match, then your odds are significantly increased, obviously. I think they're double, technically, mathematically speaking. But you didn't come here for math. You came here for a strategy to defeat Kevin Nash and Big Daddy Diesel Shaq. And you do so by just wailing away with these light strikes. It accomplishes two goals. Yes, you chop away at their barrier, but you also fill up your MFP challenges. So, like you just saw there, once their barrier is gone, you're able to Irish whip them off a ledge. I did it to Kevin Nash there, and I followed it up with the dive. The dive in particular is very important because that's where you're going to do the bulk of the damage. You see, occasionally the AI is going to run into each other, they won't want to climb up a ladder, but you can just bait them by taunting, and then eventually they will follow you one at a time, and you just repeat the process. Keep yeeting them over the top. They might counter you occasionally, and it does massive damage. That's when you're going to want to use your instant recovery to get back up. Don't worry, you're not going to need to use a signature. You'll have plenty of time to get 60 MFP. If you hit a finisher, which we're going to use as our knockout blow, that's 15 MFP there. That plus the crowd and opponent taunt and your 10 light strikes, I mean, you're good to go. Don't worry about missing out on a signature move. Use your instant recovery every chance you get, because in a 2-on-1 match like this, you can ill afford to be down on the ground for an extended period of time. Once you have your opponent in danger, they're primed for a finishing move to finish them off, quite frankly. And then you make the match way more manageable because it's just one-on-one, mano-y-mano. And what you want to do with Shaq here is maybe get him to the right. Yeah, if you go far right enough, you're able to get to the ambulance parking lot area, and I like fighting a one-on-one match backstage on top of an ambulance in particular because it really minimizes the range of movement for your opponent. They can only do so much up there, and it's just easier to Irish whip them off of the ambulance and follow it with a dive on that platform as opposed to this one, because look, there's a ladder in my way. I can't splash Shaq here. I end up coming down the ladder, which is really annoying. Thankfully, Shaq's going to kind of do the work for us by dragging me all the way to the area that I want to go to. Look at this right here. He's going to grab hold of me and, well, first I'm going to land on my feet. Then he's going to grab me, throw me to the ground, and then carry me all the way over to the parking lot area. Now, once we're over there, like I said, there's going to be an ambulance that you want to climb up on top of, and we're going to do a similar strategy that you just saw with Kevin Nash. We're going to wail away at Shaq because he still has that purple barrier as well, so we can't do anything to him until we get rid of that. If you try doing a heavy attack, if you try doing any kind of grapple attack, he's just going to shrug you off, push you aside, so you got to just do light strikes. That's all we got. That's our offense, so we got to do it as best we can. Shaq will always follow you on top of the ambulance. Sometimes he needs a little bit of help, so just taunt or get down and kind of reconfigure his AI that way. But sometimes you'll get lucky, and just by doing light strikes, he'll kind of sway on the edge of the ambulance, and if you hit him again, he'll just fall off that way. That does a huge chunk of damage as well. But like I said, keep wailing away, get your light strikes in. If you can stun him on top of the ambulance, that is ideal, because then you don't have to worry about him rolling out of the way from your dive. That is that's a demoralizing thing to have happen when you do all this work to get rid of their armor and throw them off the ambulance only to have them roll out of the way, and then you end up putting yourself in danger. I've had it happen before. It really sucks. Keep doing it. He does have annoying resiliency, like I said, so he can recover from danger rather quickly if he happens to counter one of your finishers, which, you know, this is a high difficulty challenge, so that's probably going to happen to you, quite frankly. You need to have at least 2 finishers stored to brace yourself for that fact. The only problem is when Shaq counters one of your finishers, it instantly fills up his recovery. It fills up like 2 finisher bars of his. It really sucks. So if you get countered by Shaq, just make sure you get out. Then this is what I was talking about here. Sometimes the AI needs a little bit of help. They get stuck. So just jump down and then come back up onto the ladder. And then just have him follow you again. Look at Shaq no-selling all these moves. This is what I'm talking about. This is why it's so important to deal with Kevin Nash first. You would think the pro wrestler is the more dangerous opponent here, but no, Shaq is a menace. He's a menace in the paint, and he's a menace on top of the ambulance. So make sure it's a one-on-one with him. Throw him off of the ambulance, however many times it takes. Like I said, the dive is what really puts him in danger. And you think we have him on the ropes here. This is why it's so important to have 2 finishers stored. Look at that. He counters and instantly fills up his, and now he's very dangerous. So try to get back up on top of this ambulance as soon as you can. Anytime he grabs you in this environment, he's either going to drag you or Irish whip you. So spam circle if you get grabbed, or if he drags you, as soon as he pulls your head back, that's when you want to hit triangle on the PlayStation or Y on the Xbox. You'll get a counter every single time. Just once more here, and he's primed for the pickings. He's used up his resiliency. You can tell under his name there. So, yeah, just one more attempt throwing him off the ambulance. I know, this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. It's not particularly challenging. You'll see I have no limb damage whatsoever. It's just annoying, because you got to do this a lot of times. We stun him there. He's in danger, but the stun meter just vanishes, which kind of will make you pucker your butt cheeks a little bit, hoping you don't get countered for your last finisher, but once you hit it, the match is over, and you unlock the masked Dominik Mysterio, Amethyst version. And now we're ready to unlock Roxanne Perez next week. So, guys, if this video was helpful, let me know in the comments. Leave a like, a comment, a sub, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys next week for Roxanne Perez. Until then, be well and take care. Peace.